I don't know what was more surprising this weekend, a pirate ship getting sunk by Magesi or Eric Ten Hag that rallies in a second half. This is Onside ZA, brought to you by Betway. Get way more. Ballers, thank you as always for joining us here on Onside ZA and on the Podcast and Chill Network. Joining me in the studio today, Mr. Len Moleko.
What's up?
Everybody's favorite darling.
Hi, darling.
Tsepi Worldwide, thank you for joining us. And everybody's favorite super sub, although there's a little competition here for you, super sub.
Uncle, I'm not alone today.
Hey, the bench is getting full.
I see dead people.
What's the split, Len? It's a 6-1. A 6-1 split.
Should we have Ballers guess the voice?
Let's do that.
Ballers guess the voice.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself
do that.
without your name, super sub number 2.
Hello, everybody. This is Lelo Mzaka. Guys, thank you so much for the invitation. Gee whiz, you guys have got a lovely set all up in here.
Thank you so much.
And it's so wonderful to join you guys this evening. I'm thinking at this time of the night, I need to be in bed, man, because I
Why?
wake up at 3 a.m. every day because I'm on a breakfast show.
Don't worry. You'll sleep. You'll get enough
You'll be
sleep.
fine, don't worry.
You'll be good.
I'll
Yeah.
be good.
You-
Okay, cool.
If you get into bed this early, just keep your YouTube on.
Now, definitely. YouTube has definitely got to be on. And it's so wonderful, man. Like this kind of thing of what you call non-mainstream media. It is a wonderful thing. It's a platform where people can actually get to express themselves. And I really love this because also it opens up a lot of doors for a lot of people who are talented but not given the opportunity. So well done, guys. This is absolutely amazing.
May
Thank
I
you
ask?
so much. I think you should commend the Ballers because they're the most important part of all of
Ballers, hello.
Yeah, they keep the lights on.
We just want to see. We just want to know now
Yeah.
which side of the fence you sit at. Who do you support locally? Who do you support internationally?
Locally, I used to be leaning on the side of Morocco Swallows.
And I
then what
didn't wear this
happened?
jersey because you were coming. No.
No. Ujesu uti. And then internationally,
So you're still leaning Go Swallows. You did not complete your statement.
no,
might
but I
come
mean,
back.
Swallows is now defunct again.
So you're not
might come
supporting
back.
anyone.
Nah, locally, it's a matter of like, I'm supporting football.
Ah.
And
Maruma Gallant.
Maruma Gallants, you know, the thing about the story of Maruma Gallants is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because Maruma Gallants' people, they were very clever because they knew that when it comes to the fan base was there for the taking. It was just a matter of add water. And then they decided to say, okay, let's take Maruma Gallants to Bloemfontein.
Yeah.
And then that's what happened. Now everyone is like, Siwelele Samarumo.
I saw that. It was a smart way to go about it, though.
Smart way.
I mean, they had like 3 supporters. They probably have 30 now. It makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman that I know who wanted to buy a soccer team and he was dilly-dallying. And I was like, dude, that way, man.
What's his name?
Hey, names are expensive. Expensive names.
Is he married?
Was that?
Is he married?
Oh, yes, he's very, very married.
Let's move on.
And then,
I know someone who's divorced if you're interested.
Which one?
Oh, is it too soon? Is it too soon? Okay, sorry.
I see ya.
so yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer for Maruma Gallants to actually like go to Bloemfontein because the fans were there, just ready for the taking. I mean, remember when Bafana Bafana was playing a game recently
Against Zimbabwe.
Against him.
Yes, and the last time Bafana played a game in Bloemfontein was when they played against France in 2010. And then there'd never been a game there, a national team playing there in all of those years. So the people were really, really thirsty and hungry. And then the Bafana game went there and the fans really packed the stadium. So with...
Now, okay,
Yeah,
as much as Babi Babina Noko or Babina Noko, ne?
Babina. So,
Skukune?
Sikukune,
Skukune is Babina.
because they are
Because porcupines, yes, of course.
Maruma Gallants, I forgot
Gallants
what
ke
the payoff line is.
They have a new one because they kind of rebranded. But my question was this: the team in this case that decided to go to Bloemfontein and start over, right? Or just kind of take over that territory.
Yeah.
Have you seen them give back to the community as yet? In fact, what do you want to see them do for the community of Bloemfontein? Limangahong and the surrounding
Give them
areas.
football.
I've never seen any CSI work that they've done, but the fact that they exist there means that they're contributing to the economy
Of course.
of Bloemfontein, of the people who are around there. Because whenever a football match is being played at a certain space, there's accommodation.
Chisanyama.
There's the Chisanyama. And I don't know if you've actually noticed that whenever a local team that is hosting a Kaizer Chiefs or what have you, whenever they win a match against those teams, a lot of activity happens around, because I've done like a lot of touchline work with the SABC, and I've traveled around the country, and I've noticed and I've seen just whenever a team wins, a local team wins, my guy, people don't sleep that night. They really, really do get active economically around that entire area.
So Magesi, where's Magesi from, guys?
Magesi is from Limpopo.
So Limpopo was ablaze again this past weekend.
Oh, that has to be. It has to be. Magesi really, really did the things. Although they almost got caught at the end. Hey, they really, because they were winning 3-0, and then
3-0 at halftime.
At halftime, 3-0 at halftime, and then Pirates came through.
Super sub.
So I actually would like to get to Super Sub. Let's start there. Orlando Pirates, the cup team.
Is he going to mention MTN 8 again?
Of course. What else?
I'm just asking.
He's got 3 more weeks of MTN 8 to talk about.
Okay.
They don't like the beer cup, guys. You should know this by now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's simple as that,
How do you feel, my friend?
You just going to leave it there, but
No, yes, I'm sorry, friend, but Super Sub, you say this, and I'm sure you must have been frustrated. You talk about how another Pirates goes in and plays with a team that is less dominant, prominent, whatever, and they do what they basically have been doing. Would you say they're going back to their old ways?
They had a slow start on Saturday, definitely a slow start. But second half, I think they came back gun blazing. It was unfortunate that they were 3-0 down at halftime. It was individual mistakes, and those things happen in football. But I was happy with their resilience in the second half and how they came back. And like Lelo is saying, they almost caught Magesi in the last minute. It was just unfortunate that was an offside. But you can see this hunger there, this character. Which team comes back from 3-0 down and almost get it? In PSL. It's unheard of. They showed character. There is something about Orlando Pirates this season, guys. And you could see.
Is it the absence of a Bongilet?
But also, why is credit not being given to Magesi? It
There
seems
should
like
be.
we
No,
are...
you asked me about Orlando Pirates.
But,
You
okay.
wanted my view on Orlando Pirates,
But
right?
anywhere in the world, the biggest club is going to be the conversation topic: win, lose, draw. They're going to be the main conversation topic. But you'll still celebrate them. We're just going to give them fewer minutes.
Okay. Congratulations, Magesi.
I don't have
Moving
seconds
on.
for them. I don't even have seconds for them. I'm joking. No, well done to Magesi. I think Pirates started slow and they capitalized on their opportunities, and a team that gets those opportunities is the team that, in football, you create your own luck. And they did that on Saturday and they get those goals and the penalty, But second half, I was impressed with Orlando Pirates. I think first half was dismal, something to forget. But I think second half, they came back and they showed us who they are, and it was just unfortunate. And credit must be given to Magesi. I think they brought the A game, and obviously Coach Clinton Larsen is a seasoned campaigner. He knows PSL. And you could see that, those boys are well coached,
But Betway Premiership is back and Orlando Pirates currently playing against Supersport United. Good for my 4 to score bet because on the first of my 4 predictions,
You said
Orlando
Pirates.
Pirates to score first
And they
against
scored
Supersport
first.
United,
And
and
they
they've
did.
scored first.
In 2 minutes.
So there's just slightly more than 2 minutes left in the fixture. Orlando Pirates still leading 1-0. Betway Premiership is back. I want to bring it back to traveling around the country and looking at these communities that maybe have less access to football. Like you said, it's been 14 years since Bloemfontein hosted a national team fixture, right? But are there certain communities that are more deserving of it, or does the team change things for a community? So do you see like a team that's performing in a place like Bloem, does that bring football fans out, or is Bloem a special place for football fans? Are cities like Joburg, Cape Town, Durban spoiled because they get too many fixtures, and that's why we don't see full stadiums quite to the extent?
I was actually talking about Orlando Stadium in particular.
Orlando, iko guy.
In Orlando.
Orlando. Oh.
Yes, Orlando State.
It's a joke. It's fine. Continue.
That Orlando Stadium is smack bang in the heart of Orlando East. And it's accessible to what you call the people. But they don't attend games there.
Super Sub will beg to differ because
We've seen fixtures this season where they have, but I get your point in general.
That stadium needs to be packed each and every time Orlando Pirates plays there, and it doesn't. It's not packed.
even tonight it's not packed.
It's not packed. The previous game, you saw it's never ever packed.
Why is that?
The reason for that, I'll tell you, for me, from my observation, people who get good parking there are people who've got access to parking. Sorry, are people who
you know, on a
have
bench
access
with a phone ringing is a fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, guys, it's 9:15. This is my prayer time. So people would go to Orlando Stadium. The people who get good parking are people who've got VIP access. When you understand the spatial planning of that area, right? And also there is Dobsonville Stadium as well. When you go to Dobsonville Stadium, you barely get any good parking. You need to park in someone's yard and pay them.
But if you are going to Orlando
Yeah.
on the argument of the people,
Yeah.
you just live 2 streets down the road. You just walk to the stadium. It's fine.
But they don't go to the stadium. That's the thing. People don't attend games there. I don't know what is it about that area. But the parking is a big thing. Let's say I'm a Pirate supporter and I live in Bedford View. Would I want to drive to Orlando and park my car across the railway where there is no adequate security for me to go watch a game?
On the same note, there is lots of parking at FNB, but Chiefs games hardly ever get full.
Here's another thing. FNB Stadium, there's ample parking, right? However, whenever there's a game there, what you call the onion
Yes.
is for you to actually get good parking there, because of the way that they block off the roads, makes it a massive inconvenience. It happens like that also at Loftus Versfeld. At Loftus Versfeld, I was there when the British and Irish Lions came to South Africa. The only place where they would check your ticket is right inside the stadium. But when Sundowns is playing there, they make it so difficult. I'm talking about the local government there. They make it so difficult for people to even get close to the stadium with their cars that it becomes an inconvenience for black people to actually get there. It's a fact.
But with Loftus,
Wait, okay.
again, it's a case of I don't know what kind of relationship the PSL has with Gautrain, for instance, what deals they broker. Because if I was at Loftus for a Stormers game earlier in the year,
Yeah.
Stormers versus the Bulls.
Yes.
And what I did was I got into a Gautrain,
Yes.
parked my car at the station, got into the train, went to Loftus, got to the Hatfield station, got into a Gau bus, went into Loftus, came back the same way, and I found my car at the Gautrain parking. So why is the PSL not forging a relationship with
Local government in this case.
Gautrain,
Yeah.
for instance?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. The reason why I mentioned the difference between rugby and football is because I've attended both. rugby,
And there's a distinction in the convenience.
there's a big distinction.
It's a whole
Massive.
train.
I mean, we saw Prasa came to the party. People were not inconvenienced when the Springboks were hosting the All Blacks. People took trains. It was easy.
But it's because Saru goes and has conversations with Gautrain.
I don't know what conversations the Premier Soccer League is having with anyone. All I'm saying is that rugby matches and the logistics when it comes to rugby matches are different with the logistics when there's football matches. It's what I've noticed, it's what I've seen, and I stick to my word when it comes to that.
Fair game.
So there's regions where it's easier to get to a football game. So it looks like Gauteng-based fans aren't doing their bit to go and fill up stadiums and support their teams.
What I see is that when it comes to Gauteng, because of the volume of vehicles we've got on this part of the country and what have you, there's a certain kind of policing that's happening in Gauteng compared to other parts of the country. Whereas, I mean, when I remember I was at a stadium where Free State Stars used to play. It was a cup match. It was winter. It was cold. It was at night. Kaizer Chiefs was playing Free State Stars. This was a night game, and that stadium was packed.
But it's also
Packed.
Also,
let me finish.
Yeah.
This. However, the convenience of people getting to the stadium, it was there. But in Gauteng, for some reason, when there's a big game that's about to take place, the kind of policing that happens in terms of road closures and what have you, it seems to be quite heavy-handed, and it makes it a tad bit inconvenient for people to get to say. Hence, if you think about it, how many games have started 15 minutes later than they're supposed to start? Because fans are late. Fans are late. And what makes fans late as well is also the road closures.
The logistics, yeah. Okay. Noted.
Okay, let's take a step back into the knockout matches. The calling knockout. We've looked at Magesi versus Orlando Pirates, obviously the big shock fixture of the lot. The knockout cup started on Friday night with Stellenbosch versus Amazulu. No big shock there. Stellies, close game, 2-1. Demoleko.
signs of improvement with Amazulu. They look a better outfit than they did under the previous coach. You can almost see what Athazwane and Vusmusi are trying to do with that side. So, yes, cup run, you are out. You can focus on the league and almost try turn your fortunes there so that you... Because I think they were given the mandate of finishing at least in the top 4, if I'm not mistaken. So
That's ambitious, but yeah.
hey, aim for the stars. If you fall, you'll fall on the moon, or whichever way it works. That phrase, yes.
Pirates and Orlando Pirates leading 2-0 now.
So
like, new brooms.
Yeah, again, it could be a case of new brooms, and then after 3-4 games, they're going to revert to default settings. But I liked what I saw from Amazulu. Unfortunately, they were playing an outfit in Stellies that know how to put teams to the sword, and
let's be honest, go on cup runs. They won this tournament last season.
And defend, yes.
They were in the final of the MTN8.
Are they the new cup boys now?
I'm not going to say anything. Like, I'm not going to say anything.
We also saw, we were speaking about Maruma Gallants. They beat Polokwane City 3-2. Lots of goals this weekend.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Plenty
It's exciting.
goals,
Yeah, it's exciting. It's good to see. I mean, it's something we've discussed in local football before, the lack of goals.
You see, the thing about, I loved the fact that there were like a lot of goals. Because for the longest time, we didn't experience this. Lots of goals in our local team. So my question was, are our strikers not really finding the target? Or are the goalkeeping departments improving?
I think we actually had this
That's a good
discussion.
question, yeah.
We had this discussion in an interview that's coming out this Friday.
Actually,
So
yeah.
keep on the stream till the end to see what's coming for that. We've got a big promo coming up for that. And there's a very interesting view on that. And our guest put it down to coaching.
Coaching.
He says when he evaluates a fixture and he watches, because you don't see what happens during the week in the build up to a fixture, but when you watch a fixture, in his mind, watching local football, he says you come to a game and you're like, I know what they've been doing all week.
Yeah.
They've been focusing on making sure you don't concede.
You know,
As simple as that.
I see that like a lot of teams employ what you call goalkeeping coaches, goalkeeper coaches.
Yes.
But not a lot of teams focus on striker coaches.
Yeah.
The job Benny had
At Man United.
Man United. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with that said, I've been watching quite a lot of things all over the net. There's also dribbling coaches. And a lot of players actually being discouraged from dribbling, whereas they would dribble and then pass the ball back. Dribble, pass the ball back. Instead of dribbling to eliminate the defender and move forward.
I just want to say something very quickly about the goalkeeping. I read an article and it was Gavin Hunt who was saying that he actually pleaded with PSL teams that we need to adopt the Egyptian Premier League type of outlook. And he was saying that we need to give young goalkeepers a chance. He says that we have too many international and not local goalkeepers. I just want to hear what your thoughts are on that one quickly while we're still there.
let's see, Sundowns goalkeeper local, Pirates goalkeeper local, Chiefs goalkeeper local, Stellies goalkeeper local, Cape Town City goalkeeper local. I think I'm already by 5-6.
It's half the league.
I
I
know
mean, remember, it can not only be the top flight. There's
Chippa United. I know they've got who's the bloke from Nigeria?
Oh, yes, the one that played for the Nigerian national team. Yes.
Kukune. So I hear the whole adopt 100% goalkeepers must be local, but unfortunately our league it's free trade.
But
the only thing that you limit is the number of foreigners that you can sign in your team. So that rule alone almost makes sure that the bulk of talent that is used in the league is local.
And that's why Gavin right now is struggling. Remember, he's got a signing. Who is it that they signed? Is it Samir? Who did?
No, Nukovic is not. He has
SuperSport.
not signed. He's not signed for SuperSport.
Yes, because the story is that they can't sign him now. They're waiting to get one of the players who I believe is from, I remember the country, but they want to give him permanent residency. If he does have permanent residency, only then can they sign him. So that's why we're still having those
They've reached
challenges.
their quota for.
Of course, yes.
Let's move on to the next fixture. Should we talk about Mamelodi Sundowns?
What do you want to say?
Dribbing.
We knew.
What else?
It's obvious, that thing. It's obvious. I'm not a Sundowns fan. Don't try push that narrative.
No, not at all.
But Sundowns, they're not slowing down.
No, they're not.
Once they score, they keep going. We've seen that, I think, more so this season than we saw under Rulani.
And I thought they were
In
going
terms of keeping going.
and I thought they were going to struggle with the absence of
Zwane.
Themba Zwane, who's out for apparently 4 to 6
months, yeah.
months.
And the story is that Mangoba is not happy. He's actually kind of blaming our another father for the injuries. He's saying that he overworks his person.
Hey, did you hear they were fired? He was fired. He fired
Yeah,
back.
guys.
Didn't they have a meeting on Monday?
On Sunday, I believe, or Monday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Look, it was always gonna get there. The moment you go on public as a national coach team, like I was saying earlier, Uguti, you don't do that. There's certain conversation that needs to be had privately. You know, the moment you go and talk about another club like that as a national team coach, he was gonna retaliate. You know,
And he's got buzz for days, ne? Mangob, yo.
Look, I think what happened there was not supposed to happen. And I believe that Mangoba Mngiti shouldn't have done that.
But he was
have
retaliating.
done what?
They started him.
Retaliation is not a mature thing to do.
Oh, okay. Please, Cook. I want to hear
It's
you.
not. Retaliation is not a mature thing to do. I don't think Mangoba Mngiti should have done that. First and foremost, Mangoba Mngiti is a club coach. Bruce is a national coach. How many times has Bruce asked to meet up with club coaches in this country? Let's go there. How many times?
They are busy.
See, now that's the problem. Here is a national team coach who wants to meet up with club coaches, and it's just not happening.
Who takes precedence, the club coach or the national team coach?
In terms of what?
There shouldn't be.
As a
There
country.
shouldn't be presidents. The
Yeah.
precedents. There shouldn't be. There should be collaboration.
There
Yeah.
should be collaboration.
Fairness.
Collaboration. And the meetings are just not happening.
Because you're not competing with each other.
You want to
You actually want
collaborate.
to grow the national team as a club.
Exactly.
As a national team, you want to grow the clubs. It's good for everyone if you collaborate well.
Exactly.
But with Mangoba, if we are being fair, he was not head coach last season and the season before that. Head coach was Rulani. So whoever's going to meet with the national team coach would have been the Rulanis of this world, the Ramoviches of this world.
No,
the Kevin
Len,
Hunt
I
of this
disagree.
world.
I disagree.
Yes,
but-
it's the head coach that meets with the head coach of the national
I
team.
disagree.
But
First
I
and
mean, he
foremost,
was assistant, so does he not also have, he's
Exactly.
not present in these meetings? Are you
Exactly.
trying to tell me that Mangoba was just like
No,
sidelined?
but the
and-
grand plan of a team is usually drawn up by the coach in assistance by his assistant.
Len, no.
For real,
I disagree.
because so okay, who does the press? Who does the presses? It's the head coach. It's not the assistant, unless if the head coach is not available. So there's a hierarchy, and
I agree. There is
if
a
Mangoba
hierarchy.
is speaking to Steve Compella there, is Compella gonna pass the message on?
Mangoba shouldn't have said the things that he said in the way in which he said them.
Okay, fair point.
Mangoba should respect the national team coach.
But the national team coach should somehow show some respect also to him. Correct?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, this is a two-way street at the end of the
It
day.
is a two-way street.
Yeah, and the most concerning part is just the public dissent amongst each other.
Yes. Now,
I
for me, that is so wrong, so wrong. I mean, the national team coach should understand that the club coach has a mandate and his job is always on the line. I mean,
Facts.
when you're a club coach, your bags are basically always packed by the door.
No, that's a
Because
Chippa United.
If you don't. The Chippa United, no. Chippa United, your bags are packed in the car.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't even take it out. You take out a fresh shirt, baby.
Yes, my friend.
Little Champions League update. Arsenal 1, Shakhtar Donetsk
Shakhtar Donetsk.
0.
Oh, they know how to score goals these
Can we
days.
they're
congratulate
bouncing back.
Kaiser
You
Chiefs?
shouldn't get the red card though.
We're going to come back
Okay.
to...
We'll get there.
We're coming back.
The
Just a
ball
quick
has-
Champions League update.
Okay.
Juventus versus VfB Stuttgart still at 0-0. Sporting versus SK Sturm Graz. Sporting leading that one 1-0. Real Madrid and Dortmund locked level. PSG and PSV locked level. Girona versus Slovan Bratislava also locked level. And Aston Villa locked level with Bologna, who are not a joke of a side. I'm a big fan of where Serie A
Italy.
football is coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So heading back into those Carling Knockout Cup fixtures, let's talk about Kaiser Chiefs. So,
Guys, for once.
I mean, we were speaking about Gavin Hunt.
I'm concerned
The
for
the
Gavin.
wheels aren't off, but they're shaking.
I'm very concerned
They are
for Gavin.
shaking.
Very concerned. Keep his
I think they're on a spare wheel, those ones.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know. I don't know a Super Sports United team that's like this.
Yeah.
Super Sports United
I'm
has always
concerned.
been that kind of team that's been very competitive. You know that when they play against any team, chances are they'll get a result. I don't know what's going on this season.
It's simple. Like Gavin says, you swear he's got a template answer for each post-match interview. We created chances we couldn't convert. We played well, but the goals were not coming. I don't have players because half my players are injured and I have to use the babies. Or the referee was...
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he even asked
I
today
think he's
that-
making excuses at this point.
it
You know,
be-
he's got
Yeah.
full. I mean, yes, the injury of Krobler, it is quite big. Looking at the number of goals that he scores, but you've got Yotsuka Manges there. You know, I mean, there's a lot of players that
Doesn't
are
he have
there.
Vincent as
He
well?
is just failing, and that's
Yeah,
it.
Pule is there as
Yeah.
well.
Bula is there. You know, I mean, he's got. Yes,
I mean, he
he's-
had to let go of Chandre, right? Overseas.
It's money that you need
Yeah.
to run the
And then
club.
that's the only amount of money they basically made.
I don't know.
from a
I mean,
player.
even his attitude lately, it's just a coach that is frustrated,
May I
and I
ask-
think that is filtering down to his team.
Yes, I don't think Gavin, and I've been saying this, it's probably the 5th week now that I'm saying I'm concerned about Gavin. The team, yes, but I'm concerned about Gavin, his demeanor.
Yeah, he's out of character.
His overall, I'm not so sure. In fact, I might just say that I don't think he wants to be there anymore.
No, he will. No. So
At Supersport?
I don't think they will fire him. He will leave because he wants to.
Yeah, I don't see him wanting to be there.
See, let's look at Super Sport United. I think we need to look at these things in perspective.
Okay.
In the PSL, there are teams that buy players and there are teams that grow their own timber to sell players.
Staleys,
Stelis is one of them.
Supersport.
Maritzburg United was one of those teams.
Still seem to have a balance of letting a certain number of players go,
go.
but knowing that they've got reinforcements,
Yeah.
which I think we've seen already in the past with Supersport United, how deeply impacted when their neighbors come knocking.
Yeah, because Super Sport United is one of those teams. They grow players. They've got a good program in terms of developing players. And then when they see that, okay, cool, some of the players are really, really good, they sell them. It's one of those teams.
It's a model.
It's a model. And when you've got that kind of model, are you expecting to be successful in winning things?
I would say that they've been successful relative to their capabilities of building a squad, etc., in recent years.
Yeah.
It's this season is where it's looking so different and why it's such a big talking point.
But also, let's be fair. They were playing against a Chiefs that is cooking.
Let's get
So
to
let's
it.
give credit to Chiefs
Yes.
as opposed to feeling sorry for Supersport United.
Well, do you want to talk about tonight as well? Because it's, again, Supersport United tonight.
They're playing
2-0.
They're playing Pirates at Orlando, and I think they haven't beaten Pirates at Orlando in the previous 10 outings. They've lost 6 and I think drawn 4. So it's a fixture that historically they don't generally get over the line.
Okay, let's get to Chiefs, like you said. Naby's cooking. They had a good window. I think they did good business. We've not seen a Chiefs like this for a long time. I mean, 4-0.
Hey,
When last the Chiefs score 4 goals in a match? Memories.
And even if we bring up the red card, it was 3-0 at that point.
Yeah. Look, like I said, and I think I've been saying this, outside of the bleep that happened with Sundowns, and they just so happened to have Sundowns waiting for them in the quarterfinals. But in that game against Sundowns, Chiefs played well. Were just unfortunate, but they played well.
Although Supersport played quite well in that fixture against Sundowns in the league as well. Until those substitutions changed the game.
they even played well against Orlando Pirates. It's just that the universe was conspiring not in their favor.
Well, in the MTN age,
Yes,
today
that's what
they
I'm
were
talking
just,
about,
They
not
were
today.
just ordinary
Yeah.
from the bit that I saw in the match. I didn't get to watch the entire match.
Let me ask a question. What's happening at Kaizer Chiefs? Because from what I see is that Naby is a kind of coach that knows what he wants and he puts his foot down. Hence, they couldn't get him in the previous season. And then they managed to get him with his demands. Whereas it seems like in other seasons, whoever was at the helm would take what they given.
Do you think it's this
Are you
thing
saying-
of No, I think I get what you're saying. It's just this idea, and it's something that we've complained about with Chiefs in the past, is that upper management's interference with what's going on the pitch matters
Is it not
generally
also
has
the
not
fact that?
been working.
But is it not also the fact that, I mean, I think he's leaning towards when it's a local coach, they're not taken as seriously. Their demands are not
that where you're
listened
leaning?
to. But you have a Naby who comes from where he comes from. And I mean, we've had local coaches at the helm of Kaizer Chiefs for the longest time. But here comes this person, he makes all these demands. He wants to bring his technical team, he wants this, he wants that. And his needs were met.
Stewart and Ernst are not local coaches.
Yes,
No,
but
they're
Arthur
not.
is.
However, the thing is, if you actually look over the years, Kaizer Chiefs Kaizer Chiefs had the CBD, for goodness sake. The CBD that was cooking at Sundowns.
But here's the thing.
Hold on. The CBD that was cooking at Sundowns, it gets to Kaizer Chiefs, it falls flat. Torrealba was cooking at Sundowns, gets to Kaizer Chiefs, falls flat. A lot of great players, they would be good at Sundowns, and at other teams, they get to Chiefs, they fall flat.
Had this
Now there's Nabi, a man who put his foot down to say, I want my own technical team. If you don't give me what I want, I'm not coming. Eventually, they give him what he wants. Now it seems like the team is cooking. Does it mean that maybe behind the scenes, this is a man who tells everybody to say, I am in charge of this ship. Get out of my dressing room and let me do what I want to do. And now the team is playing like this.
And it seems quietly as well. This is a fairly quiet Kaizer Chiefs right now.
Can they
We're
even
not
hear what he
hearing.
says when he's telling them to get out of the dressing room? Or does a translator come and finish and pass the message on? But I hear what you're saying, Lelo, in terms of Nabi being there, being given full reign to do what a coach is supposed to do. He's not being told how to run the club. And again, it's probably a case of a new broom. It's just first season, a couple of games.
Yeah, still quite early, let's be honest.
But also the signings that were done by Chiefs, they give
Tensions
you,
are clear.
yeah, they give you that level of okay, cool, there's some positivity to look at. Gaston Sirino, proper player. We knew from Sundowns. He's actually probably one of a few who moves from Sundowns and goes and
cooks,
lights up. Kaizer Chiefs, for instance. What's his name? The defender that they got from, I think, Yanga. I just forgot his name now. He's playing well. So I think maybe also a level of mentality with maybe the previous coaches were too. They mollycoddled the team.
Yeah. Say it.
But here comes Nabi, and Nabi, like you said, he puts his foot down and says, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to execute it. For you to be in my team, I'm not going to beg you to play. You must play and show me that you want to play. So there's also an attitude change in approaching certain matches, and that's why you're seeing Kaizer Chiefs delivering the kind of results that they're delivering. But quarterfinals.
Look, let me go back. You talked a bit about Sundowns and how they pump the net. It didn't even start with Rulani or Beats. I mean, even in that is the Sundowns culture. I remember when you were on Nieskins as well, when he was coaching Sundowns, they were playing against...
Nieskins, R.I.P. He passed on, didn't
he passed on. May soul rest in
weeks ago.
peace.
Yes.
And they were playing against some team, like a smaller team from, I think it was Power Lines.
24-0.
Exactly.
I remember that.
Exactly. And he came on post-match and he said, look, the culture in his team is that when the opportunity is there to score, let's get in.
When a man is down.
Kick them.
Exactly.
Okay, let's rush on through the rest of this Carling Knockout Cup. Royal AM need to focus on the league anyway. 3-0 drubbing from Cape Town City.
Royal AM might be forced because the story is that if they do not pay the couple of millions that they owe the guy, the PSL, the FIFA might force the PSL to make them pay or either remove them from playing football.
Or deduct
becoming
points
worse.
or something.
Oh yes, point deductions. You're correct. Yeah, it's happened to
Just
Amazon
pull out
a
a
couple
couple
of
of
years
Louis
ago.
Vuitton bags and
If the original
auction them, I mean, yeah.
I think it's the end of Royal AM.
Nah, I don't see it.
I'm telling you
I think
now.
they're more resilient than that Super Sub. Come on.
I think it's
Someone
better.
don't
buy
pay-
Royal AM and turn them into Bloom Celtic.
I mean, that's where they were.
That's, yeah.
But let's do it.
It would be nice should that happen. I think Royal AM had a very, very unfortunate situation. First and foremost, I mean, with all due respect,
When a person says that.
I wasn't here.
with all due respect, when you field a player who is not a footballer in your team, you are basically playing with 10 men.
Who are they fielding?
The chairman.
Oh, okay.
Look, we've spoken about Royal AM before. They to some degree, I feel they are bringing the league into disrepute. And when you say resilience, Tepi, it really, resilience or no resilience, if you don't pay the monies that you're supposed to pay and you get deducted points, it means you are on the back foot.
I agree, but
the Magesis of this world and the Amazulus and the Supersport United can be like, they took 9 points from those guys.
So,
And they're not winning and they're not able to sign players. Like, it's already, I mean, look at what happened to Everton when they were deducted points. They almost went down.
Yep.
Forest also, when they were deducted points, they were flirting with relegation like there's no tomorrow.
Till the final day.
yes, but I'll say resilience when I learn, because I mean, number one, when it comes to commercially, when we look at Royal AM, they leave a sour taste in our mouths. I say resilience because given their circumstances right now, they're still able to. They've been drawing. They're actually doing relatively better than teams that actually have their ducks in a row. The fact that they've only lost their most recent match against Cape Town City, but they've been drawing, that to me is resilience.
-9.
It may look, yes, friend. And I think they're anticipating that. I'm saying resilience because by now, I'm sure, and other teams that we know would have already just thrown in the towel. That's what I'm talking about when I say resilience. It doesn't look good, but they're still holding on to the sinking ship.
And they don't have a DDC team, ne?
They don't have a DDC team.
It's the senior team.
They can't remember to have players in DDC. You still have to register them, so they can't register
can't.
players.
With
Yes.
the PSL, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not looking nice for them.
Okay, TS
Amen.
Galaxy. I've got a soft spot for Chipper. They're just
know.
exciting, but
We know.
that run's finished. Concentrate on the league.
At this point.
They should just play at Orlando Stadium every week and they'll be fine. And Richards Bay getting one over Skikune United. We didn't really. Len, you mentioned something about this fixture where you said watch Richards Bay.
Me?
No, you were like, it's going to be a healthy competition between the two. Both of them are going to try to show each other. What happened? What was the result?
1-0 Richards Bay.
I get.
Because former Richards Bay was former Kukuna coach, right? What's his name? No.
That's not him.
Um,
Brandon, friend.
Brandon Truter.
Brandon
yes.
from Swallows also.
Brendan Truty,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so that's a wrap of our Carling Knockout Cup fixtures. Quick Champions League update. Arsenal still leading 1-0 as we approach half-time. Juve, Stuttgart still locked level. Sporting leading still against Sturm Graz. And the surprise, or perhaps two surprises in this one, Dortmund 2-0 up against Real Madrid in Madrid before half-time.
Revenge match.
A revenge match from the Champions League final. And PSV leading in Paris.
PSG.
PSV are leading PSG in
Yeah.
Paris.
Nice.
That's a surprise one.
Interesting.
So we'll see how those fixtures finish off. Let's take it to the Betway Premiership. Orlando Pirates full-time 2-0. We've got some fixtures coming up tomorrow. Royal AM have another opportunity.
to draw.
To get a drubbing.
It's-
And they're playing Sundowns.
just let these points
No.
go.
If
If
it's
you get a
Sundowns-
draw, it's a free 1 point. Isn't this?
No, if not against Sundowns, not against Mamelodi Sundowns.
But it's a free swing. This is a free swing.
And crazy things have happened in the past.
Any
Not
points?
not against Sundowns. And not against the Sundowns of a Mangoba who's trying to prove a point, because there were so many naysayers when the league started. Or before the league started, when they got knocked out in the
MTN.
in the MTN 8. So going forward, you are going to see a Sundowns that is
The Wrath.
literally going to bulldoze opponents like there is no tomorrow.
Marco?
Let me ask you a question. Why is it that whenever Sundowns is doing good,
Which is all the time.
the previous coach is the one who gets the credit? Because
Interesting.
when-
I mean, Pizzo got credit when Rulani was in charge.
But let's be honest, Pizzo deserved a lot of credit.
When Pizzo deserved a lot of credit. Now, when Sundowns does good, Rulani gets the credit. When under Rulani, Pito got the credit. Under Pito, other coaches got the credit. Why is that?
Is it not because okay?
So under Pito, because he was there I think it was Nieskins who was before him.
Nieskins, yes.
Yes.
Johan Nieskins.
Before he got Vuvuzelad. And they were
Show respect for the late winner. Yeah.
There wasn't much in terms of the Nieskins getting credit because Pito had to dismantle that Sundowns team and almost build it in his image because the first season he also got into trouble and I think they didn't even finish in the top 8.
Yeah.
And the
Fans
was
were
like,
also
yeah.
frustrated with him.
But I think Pizzo brought a Sundowns culture back to the club.
The
Brazilian style.
We can-
So I think Pizzo, I think Rulani deserves a lot of credit in general. But I get what you're saying. It must be hard to be a manager of a team, be doing well, and then hear people say, Rulani.
But also,
I think that's hard. But
Mangoba
Rulani
was
deserves.
there, so technically he is also then somehow getting his flowers, correct?
I agree. And I think if he continues to perform all through the season, he'll get celebrated. And Rulani was celebrated, but I get that. It must be hard to be a coach of Sundowns, to follow the success of Pizzo, to follow the success of Rulani. Now you need to make your own success so that when the next guy's there, they talk about you.
but you've always been there.
He's been there.
Next door there. You've just been sitting there next to those 4 mentioned coaches. So again, it's just like as Coach Mangoba, you understand the philosophy of Sundowns, style of play. Maybe you'll make 1 or 2, 3 tweaks here and there, but you don't want to break what's been working, or you don't want to change the wheels in a way.
it's not broken,
because,
don't fix it.
Yeah. so-
Now, I'm thinking, right? I don't know if you guys looked at the interview that Benny McCarthy had recently, where he spoke about how Eric Ten Hag really wasted Cristiano Ronaldo. That somehow gave me at least the indication that when you are not the head coach of a club, man, your voice is not heard. And it's not your position to make decisions that would take a club forward. So you could say that Pito was there, then Rulania was assistant, and Banban was assistant. It's like in football,
So you
assistant
agree with what
coaches
Len
really-
was saying just now?
it's like when you're an assistant coach, basically, yours is to put the cones down and
Carry the ball.
carry the ball. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he basically said that right now. We
Yeah.
were like, hi, Bolin. When we were talking about, is Coach Mangoba, was he really in the office or having a conversation with Hugo?
Bruce.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Basically, that's what I
Yes.
said earlier, but you
Yes.
just put more light to it.
More light.
Yeah.
In the interest of time, scoreline, another 5, Sundowns, Royal AM.
It'll be, I would go for 3+.
Tepi.
Let's make it, 2.5.
2.5 over Super Sub. Sorry.
2.5, yeah.
I think depending on Royal AM, who they field on the day,
Does it matter?
it does matter.
Okay.
It does matter. It really, really does matter. And also, should the referees really be, because that's another thing. The referees in South Africa, the season's still early, but my goodness. My goodness.
Tom Fuller.
My goodness. So I think maybe Sundowns could take that match, let's say 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chipper United Steelies tomorrow night as well.
Stellies,
Stellies.
close win.
Stellies, their players have really found their scoring boots because there were seasons where these guys in the final third, they would really be next, in front of the goalpost and they would just miss. But things have changed now. So Stellies, definitely, I trust them. I'd say 2-0.
Should be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. 2 teams that literally go at you.
Play football.
They play football.
Yep.
But Stellies, they've got quality in that side.
Yo, that De Jong guy is a problem, eh?
Goals?
I think Stellies are going to do well. I think it's going to be a close one. I'll say 2-0 to Stellies.
I was today old when I learned that De Jong is actually from New Zealand.
Interesting.
Is it?
Okay, and then Orlando Pirates back in action Friday night against Amazulu, who you've said have made great improvements.
It depends. Is it a Pirates home game?
Yeah.
I think Amazulu would want to prove a point, but I see a draw in that match.
Nah, I see a win for Pirates. Amazulu is still trying to figure themselves out. It was a good showing this past weekend, but they're still not there yet.
Super sub.
No, I think it's going to be an easy Orlando Pirates win.
Confidence.
Shapa.
You know what? Amazulu are going to win that game 1-0.
Look at you.
Trust you me.
Look at you.
Bold predictions.
Okay, and then probably the big fixture of the weekend, SuperSport United really need to get those wheels straight. Kaiser Chiefs coming to town.
Chiefs, like I said, like we spoke about them earlier.
Cooking something.
You'd imagine them to want to do a repeat job.
And SuperSport don't seem to have goals in them.
Yes.
Yeah, Aura is not
They
giving.
don't have a Bradley Grobler, so he's injured with the goals. So it won't be a hiding like it was in the Culling Knockout Cup, but Chiefs for the win.
Darling.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. I'm concerned for SuperSport. I'm concerned for Gavin. Kaiser Chiefs is cooking, so I see a Kaiser Chiefs win.
Super sub.
It's going to be a draw.
Interesting. Interesting.
Kaiser Chiefs fans, brace yourself for a heartbreak. Heartbreak. They're going to beat you guys 2-0. 2-0. That's what it's going to be. Yes, Kaiser Chiefs is cooking, but I think someone is going to forget the pots on the stove and there will be smoke in the house.
Okay, and I fancy Chiefs to win this one. That gives us an opportunity to head worldwide. But before we head worldwide...
I'm going to do one story now because we have a lot to
Sure,
cover.
thank you, darling. A big happy birthday, slightly belated, to Javi from Betway. Big happy birthday, Javi. Happy birthday, brother. I'll see you this week or next. We'll arrange a time. We've got a little gift for you from everyone here in the studio.
Oh, yes.
So a big happy birthday to you, brother.
We love you.
Hope you and the kids are having a good evening tonight. I know you're always watching. Darling, let's head off. Let's go around the world with Tsepi Worldwide, brought to you by Betway and Aviator. Log on to your Betway app. Click on the Aviator game and have a little fun. Be sure to cash out before the plane flies away. Tsepi, darling, what do you have for us?
Okay, let's just head off straight to the UK, I guess. Yes. So more than 100 soccer players from the women's game have signed an open letter to FIFA. They're urging the sports world governing body to end its sponsorship with a Saudi oil and gas company called Aramco. You would remember that earlier in the year, in April, FIFA announced a 4-year global partnership with the majority state-owned oil company, giving its sponsorship rights to the 2026 Men's World Cup as well as the 2027 Women's World Cup. The letter signed as a publication by 108 current and former players from across the world called the deal a stomach punch for women's game, citing Saudi Arabia's human rights record, of course. So, the inability, and I want to quote this one here. It says, imagine LGBTQ plus players, many of whom are heroes of our sport, being expected to promote Saudi Aramco during the 2027 World Cup, the national oil company of a regime that criminalizes the relationships that they are in and the values they stand for. Homosexuality is officially illegal in Saudi Arabia, though last year the kingdom said that it welcomes LGBTQ tourists. So it's really that, and also obviously a women issue. Some women are still not given their rights to drive and the like. So thoughts on this one when religion clashes with football?
Do they have an option not to advertise?
So here's the
Gazprom has been removed.
Yes, but that's everything Russian has just been removed.
And
but
we love Russia.
you can't remove everything that's Saudi, because if you look at it now, we might as well stop watching Newcastle United play. We might as well be critical of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Are we watching City, because isn't that Arab money as well?
That's Qatar. So.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
Countries.
Okay.
But we know how the Arabs are when it comes to these kind of things.
Yes.
So we might as
Saudi
well,
and Qatar, I
we
understand.
might as well stop watching Live Golf.
LIV, yes.
Because
We must stop flying Emirates. We must stop flying all these
yes,
airlines.
because
Etihad, all of them.
at the end of the day, FIFA needs the money. I'm not saying the boycott or the potential thereof is wrong, but what I'm saying is the Arab pockets or the Saudis, the pockets of the Saudis are so deep that literally they almost run all of sports in the world.
It's a nuanced issue for sure. It's
Yeah,
definitely very nuanced, but
I'll sit this one out.
Cristiano Ronaldo moved a couple Coke bottles off his table so that kids don't drink Coca-Cola and they drink water instead. I think that was quite famous. And let's be honest, it's a major health crisis for the entire world to promote a product like Coca-Cola. But how do you not take sponsorship from a company like Coca-Cola? Human rights issues obviously is a much bigger thing
Of course.
than a health concern. I think that people should educate themselves and be free to consume whichever items they want to. They just need to know the health implications of it. So I think this is a nuanced issue because it's bigger than the Coca-Cola thing. That's just an example because it's a human rights issue. And this is 108 professional sports people
it's only
registered
the
with
beginning.
FIFA.
But on the same note, right? I hear everything. We were all crying and on our pedestals about Qatar and human rights and what
Yeah,
and slave
the
labor
workers' issues,
and,
etc.
and did we not enjoy the 2022 World Cup?
I didn't enjoy it
Did
that
you?
much. I thought it was
No,
kinda
but how
boring,
many
but
games did
yeah,
you watch?
Lots.
Okay. That's it. It's almost Coty warriorish
Is it giving Chris Brown concert?
kind of vibes,
Yeah.
right? Where it's all good to complain. Yes, we want to boycott, da 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 da. But then tomorrow, the very same people who are complaining or want to boycott, and I'm not saying the cause is unjust or it's not worthy to boycott, whatever. But tomorrow, then, if it becomes an issue and I'm like, okay, cool, we let go.
We're
of
not sponsoring the
Aramco.
Women's World Cup, for example.
The Women's World Cup does not have a sponsor. Don't cry tomorrow and say,
There's
no,
also
you want
that.
equal pay.
But it feels it then comes across as though people I'm talking about in this case the LGBTQ community, for example, even women. It's as though they're held at ransom. Like you can't really have a cause, have an opinion, because there's so much that you could potentially lose. So you just kind of have to like turn a blind eye at certain things because it doesn't really matter. You want the sponsorship, you want the 4 years, you want to have the Women's World Cup, and we want an injection of that money. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. So it's an uncomfortable space to
But
find
there are
yourself
male
in.
soccer players who not necessarily have disclosed that they are.
But they may be playing for that team. Yes.
And they play and they also get sponsored by Aramco.
Yeah.
So
I think sometimes a women issue and human rights issue and LGBTQ issues, they're all different. I think we just put them in the same basket, but they are nuanced also.
Yeah, and
hey, he's back.
yeah,
Oh, wait, now sit this one out.
if you look at there are certain players who are of a certain religion that do not support alcohol, but because they are part of the Champions League that is sponsored by an alcohol brand, they do wear the jersey. It's not like they're supporting the alcohol, but they are part of the system. What we need to understand as people that we are all part of a system. At some point, we just have to accept that there are not going to be significant changes in terms of these things, you know.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sometimes you just
The-
have to take that pill and swallow it and just look the other way.
There was a player who played in the La Liga. Was it Kuyate or Konate? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He played for a team that was sponsored by a betting company. And he was of
Islam?
Islamic religion. And on match days, I think his jersey did not have
The betting company sponsor.
Kind of like what happened with Hashim Amla as well.
Hashim Amla, yes. Hashim Amla's jersey didn't have the alcohol brand.
Yes.
And then there was also Sonny Bill Williams, where he took tape and taped it over the banking the banking group that was sponsoring his team because of his religion, that to say he doesn't support this kind of banking and. So these kind of things do happen. And I think like with Hashim Amla, the federation, the Cricket Association, supported him in that sense. Other players don't get that privilege.
Yeah.
There's a player in our local football, his team had a alcohol brand. He was not Christian. His religion didn't support the alcohol brand, but because he's playing for that team and that's the sponsor of the team, he didn't have the privilege to not play with a jersey that has got that brand.
I see.
I think it should just start a conversation, I suppose. I
Yeah.
think the Saudis should come to the party and just join the conversation and see if there can be some progress made. Actually,
That's
you
why
know,
they sponsor-
football
but-
can
but-
start a conversation that leads to actual political
But
change, and I
But
think I would
imagine
enjoy
if
to see that.
everybody was given that opportunity. You know, I think certain rules are going to apply in your house. And unfortunately, you belong to the world. And there are certain things, yes, it's a human right issues, but there are certain things that you cannot change. Imagine if all players had that courtesy of saying, I don't like that because it does not align with what I believe. What then?
Put your spade away,
And
Baker.
also, it's a case of
okay.
if we look at the Saudis and what's going on, what they're doing and throwing money at situations, it's basically the classic form of sports washing, and them being involved with everything that they do, from boxing to live golf, like I said, the F1s that they host and all of that. They basically want to clean up the Saudi Arabia image. And what better way to do it than using sports?
Yes, but unfortunately, they try so hard to kind of clean their image, but they're not doing something tangible in order for the next person to say, I believe you.
They're using sports.
No, hold on. If you think about it, right? When you think about sport, some people who own sports teams are not savory people either.
Most of them aren't.
Fair point.
So they buy teams, all kinds of teams, to clean up their image, whereas some of them are just very, very vile people. It's a fact. So this thing is not new.
But they're doing it at a grand
It's
scale.
a huge stage. That's the thing.
And we haven't got
It's
to
an
Chelsea yet,
international
so-
stage.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, okay, guys. I mean, we can talk about this all day. I just want to tell you something quite interesting. I know you know Diego Follen. He used to play
Yes.
for Manchester United. He played for Atletico. Something quite interesting about him. He retired from football in 2019. He's 45 years old right now, and he will be playing at the ATB Doubles in Uruguay. So that's dope for him.
That man brought tears to South Africa.
Oh, yes, in the World
in
Cup.
2010,
Yes,
he
in the World
basically
Cup.
destroyed our World Cup.
Yes, he did.
They
And
had
he
a-
also
in
got
Pretoria.
Golden Boot, I believe, or the
Yes.
highest scores.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
He
yes.
won the Golden Boot.
There
That
we
man
go.
destroyed the World Cup for South Africans. Loftus Versfeld, that night. That night.
I was there, bro. That's the only game I watched.
Seeing as we are in England, darling,
And that's all we have for you worldwide.
thank you so much. That was Around the World by Tsepi Worldwide, brought to you by Betway and the Aviator game. Betway, get way more. So let's go to the middle of England, a little town called Wolverhampton. Let's not talk about the town again. Len Moleko.
Remember the other guy? What did he say about Wolverhampton? Nothing happening there.
Don't worry. Nothing happened.
I was very impressed. I was actually very impressed with Wolves.
too.
I think they were very unlucky. They're showing signs of progress, and long may it continue the way they approach the game against City. City were lucky to win that game. I feel at most Wolves actually deserved a point in that game. But again, if you don't take your chances and you let slip, that's what's going to happen, especially if you're playing against Man City.
Super Sub, this is normally for me the sign of a champion side. Is when you
Definitely.
don't play well, the game's not going your way, and somehow you get 3 points.
That's what you need to do. When the game is not going your way, you scrap through those results. And that's what champions are made of, you know. And I agree with Len. I think the most out of that game, Wolf would have felt, they deserved at least a point, But hey, if you don't concentrate until the fat lady sings, that's what happens.
Tough to be bottom of the table after a performance like that. Having a look at other fixtures around English Premier League football this weekend.
The key ones.
Arsenal.
That's just an ill-disciplined team.
Like,
Move
what is
along.
up? I'm actually quite concerned about this. How many red cards have they gotten since? Is it 3 or 4? cards?
They've gotten three red cards
3.
in
But-
a row.
But Saliba's one, look, I mean, for me,
Justified?
I honestly feel that there was still cover there, honestly speaking, and it was far off. It was just a matter of who's going to sprint the fastest, But hey, it happens in football. But I think it was a yellow card.
Masters of the dark arts.
Yeah, Bournemouth winning that game 2-0, putting a big dent in Arsenal's title hopes, although we know that Christmas is the time that you need to,
Take your time.
December.
But look, Bournemouth is not a walkover team.
Yeah.
They do give teams headaches from time to time. But then again, like I said, it's the ill discipline that the Arsenal players are
crazy.
experiencing, because if you look at it, the 3 games where they drop points, there was a red card in each of those 3 games.
How
What are you
many
going to do
points
with
have they
10
dropped?
men?
I mean,
they have
Yes,
dropped
it's
7 points
detrimental.
so
7
far.
points. It could be a difference between them winning the league and losing the league.
What exactly? I don't understand. Where is this coming from? Is it a disciplinary issue? Is Arteta not as stringent? I mean, what makes him think it's okay for them to go about?
Look, the 2 incidents with I think it was whether it was concentration gone wrong, the incident with wasting time and kicking the ball away.
Rice and
We can argue the Trossard one, I think
Yes.
it was.
Trossard,
Yes.
The Trossard one was a bit unfortunate.
I think so. I mean, I was still confused at the time about what that second yellow
Yes.
card was for. Was it for the tackle or was it for kicking the ball away? And then it came out afterwards it was for kicking the ball away.
But then if you're a player and you are on a yellow, you need to know you need to proceed with caution.
Do you feel like there's too much pressure on Arsenal right now? On the players? They feel like they need to win this season.
I think there's a lack of leadership.
yeah, and I think
The
that's
minute
where the
Odegaard,
likes-
yes, the minute Odegaard got injured, you could see that, okay, something is missing here. And he's the one who knows how to literally rally the troops and make them come to the party. And it's unfortunate they're doing this, and their next fixture is against Liverpool
Without Saliba.
without Saliba.
But Declan is coming back, Musanker.
Yeah, but Saliba, we
At the
know
back there,
how
yeah.
important he is to Arsenal, especially in a game like the Liverpool game. You could be quite far behind Liverpool.
You could argue
Come
that
the
there's
end of this.
Calafiori who can slot in as
Yeah.
as a centre back as well in covering up for Saliba. But then again, some things are not necessary. They just need to get their discipline together.
Already
But-
4 points
but let-
behind.
Talking about discipline, you've got ex-City troops there that have been in the trenches and know how to win championship. You want to tell me that you're stealing, what's the Ukrainian, forgot his name,
Zinchenko.
Zinchenko,
Yeah.
Jesus. You want to tell me that those are not leaders in their own right?
Sterling just
But-
got there.
They're not necessarily even starters, are
Yeah.
Yeah, Shem Sterling is a
But you
newbie.
don't need to be a starter to motivate.
No, granted, Veli Mortois knows that very well.
Exactly.
But again, I don't think it's a pressure thing. It's on the field, Sterling is not necessarily there when he's not starting. Zinchenko is not there when he's not
To
starting.
marshal things around, yes, I get you.
So when you've got an Odegaard who's able to marshal things around, things are different. And I think that is what Arsenal is missing right now.
Yeah, I know. I get you.
Okay. We were speaking about the Saudis earlier. Newcastle United, when they went into Champions League football after a terrific season, they found it difficult to keep that consistency while having to play Champions League football, the exertions over in Europe, and then bring that back to your league form. We saw those difficulties. We're seeing no such difficulties for Aston Villa.
Not yet.
Currently still level with Bologna after a tough game against Fulham, who are a very good side.
Yeah.
Still sitting in the top 4. Same number of points as Arsenal.
Villa is consistency is their thing. Yes, they're not going to push for the title, but it's Villa. Good Evening has done a great job ever since being there. They've got a prolific of a goal scorer in Duran. So Villa will be Villa and they will give teams problems. And the way they are able to balance playing in the Champions League and playing in the league is actually quite impressive. But then again, Unai Emery knows how to do such with teams that are not necessarily your Real Madrids or your Man Cities or whatever. It's just, I think he was very unfortunate at Arsenal and he was not given enough time. Or his personnel was just crap.
I'm quite impressed with Villa because I was saying that the real test will be the beginning of this season. They did so well last season. They were basically the banana slip of Arsenal. And when they came in this season and how they've been consistent is something to be applauded. I don't see them doing as well or going all the way, but their consistency is something to be applauded.
Yeah, look, if there's anyone that is going to challenge other than that top three, I think you can only fancy Villa. I mean, Chelsea need another season, surely.
Well, Chelsea is looking like they look like they're cooking.
They held
They
their
look like
own.
they could-
Look,
if you look at
they-
the
They
game
really
against
held their
Liverpool,
own.
Yes, they played well against
Yeah,
Liverpool.
they
Liverpool
held their
were
own.
fair.
It's still their best start to a season in many, many years. But John Duran's been terrific for Villa.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's why I made mention of him. But going back to Chelsea, as we obviously almost salad everything together.
Salad, you got that? Tabang.
I was very critical of Chelsea when the season started. They
Still are,
looked
aren't
like
you?
they didn't know what they were doing, but it looks like things are starting to come together. I see Reece James is back.
yeah, he was playing.
Yeah, and he was whipping some very nice crosses. So,
So he's got 20 more minutes in his legs.
yes. So if Chelsea can continue in the way that they're doing, surely a Champions League position, surely a top 4 finish is within reach. Nicholas Jackson is not the same Nicholas Jackson of last season. He's starting to score. The Maduekes of this world are playing well. So Chelsea all around, I take back everything I said at the start of the season until they slip up again.
That's right.
He's folding.
That's right.
Stay on brand. Stay on brand.
How about as much as we talk about Umareska, but what about Slot and him playing his 10th match, 10 wins in fact in 11 games?
Arne Slot's doing great work. Shall we go back to the Sundowns thing of praising Jurgen Klopp for why Slot is
But
doing
their
so well?
football, no. The football is very different, though.
I saw
You must
that.
admit.
think
Under Slot,
Not much.
Liverpool is not as rock and roll as they were under Jurgen Klopp.
Which
Of
I think we knew Liverpool could roll anyone over on their day.
Yes.
That was a mark of Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. And then when the period gets busy or the calendar gets busy around Christmas time, etc., that extra running, that extra rock and roll football, press, seemed to get into the players' legs, and then they would slip on a
Injuries.
few results, right? And just too many minutes of high intensity football. So if you're able to still perform at the level they're performing now without that intensity, it can only be a good thing for Liverpool, and they really can push all the way this season.
Just one more point on Liverpool. It's a case of, if you look at their start to the season, the fixtures that they've had, I wouldn't really say they've been tested per se. I think the Chelsea match was a bit of a test. Man United was not a test.
The biggest test is coming this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, so that's the biggest test. So until Ane plays the likes of Spurs, City, Villa,
Even Villa.
Villa
Yeah.
as well.
Arsenal, that's when you'll actually see I wouldn't say credibility per se, but that's when you'll see whether his vision and the way he is directing Liverpool, if that works.
Yeah, so this
But,
is a very
yeah.
important set of fixtures for them coming up. Their next fixture is Arsenal. Then they play Brighton and Aston Villa after that, followed by a nice little gap of Southampton and then City. So their run of their next 5 fixtures includes Manchester City, Arsenal, Brighton, and Aston Villa. Those are tough games.
That's where the real
Facts.
test
Let's
is
see
going to come
them.
in.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we get into Man United? Very good second half.
How do you feel, Marco?
But I think that how poor they were in the first half, if they weren't playing against Brentford, they're 2-3, 4-0 down by half time. You can't have a good enough second half to make up for that. So I don't think that anyone should get carried away with this Man United result. But that second half performance was terrific. I think Rasmus Højlund's goal was absolutely splendid. He shows that he is actually a number 9, which is one of the concerns that many people have with Manchester United. And the assist from Bruno Fernandes shows why we still talk about that man. Like when people bring him up versus Martin Odegaard in terms of quality, they still have that discussion. It's almost like a silly discussion because you look at how well Arsenal's doing and how poorly Man United's doing. But you look at a touch like that, it was stupendous. It was a terrific goal. Garnacho, terrific player. So there's real quality in that Man United side. And let's see, I think Ten Hag's still on borrowed time. I don't think that he...
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah.
How many minutes does this man have when it comes to his borrowed time? Because for goodness sake, I can't wait to see his back.
He's buying himself time.
But who comes in? Who comes in and
Good
when?
question.
So I think that
Graham Potter.
Tuchel's gone to
Where's that list?
gone
I think I still
to
have that list.
England.
don't like him.
Pochettino's gone to USA. I think that
Klopp has gone to Red Bull, whatever.
yeah, and he would have never come anywhere,
he
right?
was
From
never, yeah.
Liverpool. I don't think that was ever going to be an option. But I don't think that there's enough out there for Man United to look at someone long term. I think that long
But I
term.
thought Man United fired their manager
Which one?
or parted ways with the manager.
Who?
Never mind. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, I hear that. We'll get to that. Yeah, the ambassador.
Yes.
He's still got this season, just like I think Ten Hag has this season because this season's finished.
So they live together.
So if you can get Xabi Alonso, because you can't get him today,
Never going to happen.
right? Do you think it's never going to happen because of the Liverpool thing?
Yes.
I don't know. Man United's an attractive proposition for anyone.
And he's probably also eyeing the
Real Madrid job,
Real Madrid job.
depending what happens with Carlo Ancelotti. But
But since Southgate did not, obviously still a
is
He's
Southgate
unemployed.
yeah.
But is Southgate a long-term option? Are the club looking at Gareth Southgate and saying, this is our guy that we're going to give a 4-year contract, and over the 4 years, Man United need to be Man United, right?
And is he even a perfect fit?
That's the question.
And
So
break.
I would say that besides Xabi Alonso, who's going to be clearly a terrific option if he is to come available at the end of the season, which I think he will. If he's an option, I think that's terrific. But again, that's the end of the season. Kieran McKenna, who for me, I think is very interesting look for someone who's going to be a long-term Manchester United option, someone who you can give 4 or 5 years to. He's done terrific things at Ipswich, but he needs maybe 2 seasons in the Premier League, right? So who do you bring in now
Are you still
today?
leaning towards Solskjaer as well?
No,
That's
so
him
Sol-
coming in to
so
sort out to
that-
take to the end of the season, not to stay for a long-term project.
That
I
would
think.
be exactly it. I think that's the whole thing, is that you can look at people like Solskjaer, but no, it's just for this season. But then you might as well have Ten Hag.
So
You know what
he's
I'm
a
saying?
compromise candidate.
Yeah, and it's going to cost the club a lot of money to get rid of him. Now, the club is very serious about saving money right now, as Sir Alex Ferguson learned. I think if it's real football people in charge now today, like we're told and we expect, I mean that shake up in terms of the football makeup of the club and the management of the club from a footballing perspective. These are real football people. I think that they're between a rock and a hard place. What do you do? But I think they have to know this season's a write-off, and if you bring someone in, they're a temporary fit. Why not have Ten Hag as a temporary fit?
Wow, it sounds
Anyway.
like a president of a government of national union.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look,
Okay.
good on Ten Hag. He won 3 points, buying himself time. Some of us enjoy that, and long may it continue, and long may they suffer.
Look,
the
their next fixture is against West Ham. They should win that one. West Ham in disarray. Talking about wheels off of buses. West Ham's a mess.
Yeah, look,
I mean,
I
2
don't
misses.
see what's his name. I don't see him actually making. He might actually be,
Lopetegui.
yes, he might actually be the first one to be shown the door.
Surely.
Really, English league is difficult, eh?
It's not a walk. in
Listen,
the
we
park.
know that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Because he's quite a good manager.
Yes,
they're already dubbing Sunday's game El Sakiko. Whoever loses that one loses their job.
Kiko, that's hilarious.
Eric
That's
Ten Hag is not
hilarious.
going anywhere.
I agree. He would have been fired already in the prime
That
time.
meeting.
If he was
Meeting.
going to leave this season,
Yeah.
this FIFA break would have been the
Yes.
time, right? So if there's not a candidate to replace him,
I just wonder what he tells him in those closed rooms.
Well, ask McCarthy. He did say.
He did say he tells them what to do on a piece of paper, and that's it. He
But
doesn't
also-
motivate. He's not passionate. He's not
But
any
it's
of
also
those.
a case of saving money because you fire him, you have to pay him out.
17 million
That's a lot
pounds
of money.
apparently.
And you see that when I was mentioning last week that Man United are on a cost-cutting spree. Hence they're getting rid of Sir Alex Ferguson.
Makes sense, yeah.
So, he's proven himself in cup competition. Maybe he can win Euros.
Yeah?
Maybe he can win the Euro.
Perhaps
Maybe FA again.
Maybe he can win an FA Cup.
buy himself more time.
But I don't think it would buy him more time. It's just, it would be nice to keep an interim manager, which Ten Hag is at this point. He's an interim manager for when they find their right candidate. And if he can deliver a cup along the way, why not?
Yep.
The season's over, let's be honest. If you're a Man United fan, you're not expecting much.
Just watch football because there's football on TV.
Yeah.
Don't expect anything.
I agree.
Shame.
I agree. There's good players there. I think that's
Fair
the one
point.
thing that Man United fans can look at and be proud of and be expectant of a future, maybe in 2 or 3 years from now, is that there are very good footballers there. and they showed that in that second half.
that we saw this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marcus Rashford as well, if someone can get his head right, he's a terrific footballer. There are very good football players in that team. And Man United can go on and succeed with those players,
No, fair game.
as long as Anthony goes.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a look
Even
forward to some fixtures for your Betway picks for this weekend. Starting Friday night, Leicester against Nottingham Forest.
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 Forest. They've been flying high.
Yeah,
Gibbs should be back, no?
They're not a walkover.
they're not, no. And look, Leicester, they can surprise you and they can hurt you on the break. They've still got a lot of pace in that team.
Yeah.
But I do fancy Forest for that one. Aston Villa against Bournemouth.
Villa.
Bournemouth did well against Arsenal.
Villa.
Villa Park's a hard place to go.
Clearly. Villa.
Okay. Brentford Bees to score in the first minute against Ipswich.
Ipswich,
Brentford for me.
I think that's going to be a draw.
I just fancy early
Bees.
goal from Brentford.
Brentford is going to win that one.
Yeah. I see the
Ipswich,
Bees winning.
nah. They're
First to score, Brentford. That's my bet.
Yeah. Easier that way.
Yeah. Brighton against Wolves. Yeah, Wolves. Can't catch a
Shame.
break.
I feel like, shame.
The way they
But
played against City, I'd actually also fancy Wolves.
I think
as
it's
well.
going to be a
Wolves,
draw.
definitely for me, Wolves.
At the Amex Stadium.
Yes, Wolves.
Aye, they're playing away. I say draw.
Okay. I fancy Brighton.
Well, Wolves, just purely based on how they showed up against Man City. So
I think they're a good side. Premier League's a tough league. Southampton are traveling to the Etihad.
Seat.
5 million.
Haaland back to scoring 5 goals in a game.
Hey.
I must actually triple captain him this week.
But he hasn't been scoring for a while, actually.
No, it's because he doesn't score in hard games. He scores a lot of goals in easy games. That's Haaland.
Yeah.
True.
But he scores.
But he scores goals.
But he scores, and that's all that matters.
That's his
Get
job.
those goals, that's all that matters.
That's it.
Facts.
Southampton play really attractive football, but they can't keep a clean
That's
sheet.
City. That's City that they're playing against.
Yeah. Everton against Fulham. I fancy Fulham.
I say Everton.
They
Everton
look
at
like
home.
they're
I
turning
fancy
Everton
it,
has been quite consistent
like they're
actually.
turning the corner.
2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss, but it was also penalty
Marco,
loss.
stay on brand.
As long as Everton don't score first, Fulham are winning.
Well,
then
the
they've
same
got a
way.
chance.
Yes.
Then they've got a chance.
I still
If they
fancy
score
Everton.
first, the Fulham will win this.
Still
one.
fancy
I see
Everton for the
Everton.
win.
Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea against Newcastle. That should be a good game. I think Chelsea will bounce back. I think they're a good side. Cole Palmer's too good a player. Newcastle, I always hate going against Newcastle because they're dangerous, but I think this is a fixture too much for them at
Yeah,
Stamford.
Yeah,
and
me, I'm
Isak is
saying
missing
Chelsea.
chances like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Who's
what.
missing chances?
Isak,
Oh.
the
And he's a
Swedish
talent
striker.
at the same time.
He's become the Nicholas Jackson of last season.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace against Spurs. Spurs were flying this weekend.
This is going to be interesting.
There's problems at Palace. I fancy Spurs.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah, 3 losses in a row for Palace.
And listen, that Australian, he's here to entertain. Spurs aren't going to win anything, but you're going to enjoy watching them play football.
Yeah, fair game.
They're fun to watch. West Ham against Man United. Al Sakiko.
West Ham, please.
Man United.
Man United to West Ham or
West Ham, please.
It could be a draw, this one. It's anyone's
You know
game
it's
for
not
me.
getting Ten Hag the suck.
West Ham, please. They must just do the Lord's work.
And then Arsenal against Liverpool. Blockbuster at the Etihad.
I'm
At the
crossing fingers
Etihad.
for Arsenal.
At the Emirates.
Oh, I was like, what are they
Emirates,
doing
man.
there, Marco?
It's all flights. The same
Airlines
thing.
or airlines.
It's all money.
Masters of the dark arts. That's going to be a draw.
Okay, Tsepi.
I see an Arsenal win.
Yeah, I see an Arsenal win. I think 1-0.
I think they kind of learned their lessons. Yeah,
Oh.
I see an Arsenal win.
3
But
games in
I'm
a row
crossing
with red
fingers.
cards. You
I
think
know.
they're going to make
Like,
it 4?
I'm crossing fingers. Hold
But
on.
you know how, Lenny.
You know, that's how it is. I get he's gone back. Yes. Cool.
Masters of the dark arts. You're going to see that in that game.
Hey, man.
Okay, and that's a wrap of our Premier League predictions for
okay.
this weekend.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there anything else that's happening, guys?
Not much. Weird story that I heard. Paris FC. Ever heard of them?
No, but they want to sign a certain someone.
I heard. Sponsored by Louis Vuitton.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So who do they want to sign?
Paul Pogba.
Oh yeah, but I think they would want to first get promotion first.
Yeah.
Because they currently play in League 2. They top of the log in League 2. Obviously, if they finish top, they're gonna go to League. And the whole aim with the owner of is it LVMH, right?
Yes, LVMH. Mr. Arno.
Yes.
Is the owner. Yes.
LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet,
And Hennessy.
and
Hennessy.
Hennessy.
Yes.
The richest man in the world.
No.
No,
Well, in Paris.
that's Elon Musk.
That's
That's
Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
it's always a battle
yeah.
between the
It's
two of them.
It's Elon Musk who's the richest man.
Uh-huh.
But it's always between the two of them.
Yes.
is,
So
yeah.
they looking to dethrone PSG as the biggest team.
So they want to own Paris, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Are their jerseys gonna be like Louis Vuitton?
Probably.
Probably. Because, I mean, they,
Vuitton. What's the level?
And as if football jerseys weren't expensive enough.
Vuitton.
your
You see the London Pirates one?
the 2,500 rand classic jersey. But generally,
Oh,
those
yeah, the
oaks-
heavy one.
Yeah,
Do you know that's why football jerseys are called jerseys? Because they were jerseys before.
of course.
Okay, cool.
But I think Bafana saw, man. I think Bafana's got the most expensive jerseys. And Banyana as well. Then La Coque Sportif. That stuff is expensive.
It's French.
But I like it.
I like it. I like the Banyana one. The
That
black.
black one.
There's a new pink one that they have, actually.
Yeah.
I think they released it today. They're going to be playing against England wearing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
pink
yes.
one,
They're going on
yeah.
an international
Yes.
tour, by the
Yeah.
way. Good luck to them.
So, yeah. What do you think the team at Paris FC drink during practice?
Champagne, darling.
Hennessy.
Drink Hennessy.
They drink champagne, darling.
Or Moet.
Because
They've
it's
got
Moet,
options.
Or
remember?
Moet.
There we
Whatever
go.
you guys
And
call it.
Hennessy.
I
Yes.
guess pulls me. I don't hang around with
Do
my
they have
slaves.
people
so I
coming
don't
bringing
know.
the
The
drinks?
sparklers. They put your name on the screens when you buy enough of
There's
it.
that thing as well.
Yeah,
So
I
I've
can
seen on
imagine the
social.
Mavoso, though.
So, yeah, that's some cool news that I heard this week.
That's
that
dope.
it
I
was
thought
interesting.
there
Okay,
was
and then
actually dope.
Andreas Iniesta to be the manager of Manchester United in the next season or two because he's doing his coaching licenses.
Oh, nice. Good
Legend
for
of the
him.
game.
Let's hope.
Yeah, like a week away from retirement and you're already doing coaching licenses.
He can work with
Xavi.
Xavi Hernandez.
Hey, that was a good partnership like that. If the two of them partnership in management, who knows what they can achieve?
Oh, you never know.
Yeah.
Usually doesn't translate to good management.
Exactly. I was about to say, people who have been great players at times don't become good managers.
Zidane.
It doesn't translate.
Zidane was good. Zidane was good. Put some respect on Zidane. Zidane was good. Maradona not so good.
Yeah, no, we know. So Zidane as player who turned coach, he's doing well.
He's one of the
Brilliant.
success stories. Yeah.
De Rossi. Is it De Rossi? Sorry, at it's not Bologna. But the former Italian player, he's now coaching one of the Serie A teams. Sorry, the name just escapes me now.
Oh, you're thinking of Daniele De Rossi?
Yes,
Yeah, he didn't do very well at Roma.
but he's a decent coach.
He's not.
Xabi Alonso, not bad.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
He's doing very
Alonso,
well.
yes.
He was a good
From
player.
Barca.
What's his face? Atletico Madrid. He was a decent player.
Yeah, Diego Simeone.
Diego
What about
Simeone.
Rooney?
Only, yeah.
Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola, he was a decent player for Barcelona.
Arteta?
Mikel Arteta, he was a decent player for Arsenal.
But not,
Everton.
we're talking great players.
Yeah.
We're talking great players.
Rooney.
Great players. Great players.
I think Johan Cruyff is the standout. Like, he was a real great player and he was a great manager.
Johan Niskins as well.
Yeah, him, yeah. Jomo Sono.
Number 10, eh?
The elephant in the room.
What a way to end it. Thank you so much. Len Moleko,
German.
Tsepi Dali,
Dale.
Super Sub,
Danko.
and take us out.
Yes, Lelom Zakta here in the house. Guys, thank you so much. This was a great hangout. And also look out for my platform as well. It's coming up and we talk lifestyle, we talk sports, we talk business. And yeah, watch the space. Thank you guys.
Give people your socials so that they can watch the space.
My socials, it at Lelomzakta, LELOMZACA, at LELOMZACA on all social media.
And above all else, thank you to you, the ballers, as usual. Remember to be onside. Don't be offside. Be onside with us and Betway. Get way more.
Booyah.
Coaching
Danko.
players on the ground.
Yeah.
We'll elevate.
There's nothing new. Just same method all the way up. But now, that's why you'll find that our players, when they get to the PSL, they struggle a bit. And they catch up when they're around 24, 25, 26. Now, that's when you started to see them. But when you look them overseas, Barcelona, that was 17, 18-year-old, they playing. You go anywhere in Europe, you'll find these young ones are playing. But why can't we see that? It's because of, we're saying, no, when we've got KFD, you must coach grassroots football. But now, that grassroots football for me, with the with the T lessons, with the C, for me, it doesn't give us what we need. Because it means I still have to work as a KFA license coach, while at the very same time I need to deliver the results. Then somehow I think we
There's a
getting it wrong.
disconnect, yeah.
We're getting it wrong. So